New state data shows a potentially deadly virus now detected in mosquitoes right here in Central Florida.
And it makes those bites a lot more concerning this summer.
I think that mosquitoes are a menace.
At Rotary Park along the Indian River, mosquitoes are hard to ignore for Emily Browder and her friends.
But yes, there has been a problem around here with mosquitoes.
And right now, that threat goes beyond itchy bites. A new report from the Florida Department of Health shows sentinel chickens in Orange County tested positive just last week for Eastern equine encephalitis. It's also known as Triple E, a rare but potentially deadly virus. Those are chickens placed in the field specifically to detect mosquito-borne illnesses. So far in 2026, health officials have confirmed at least 9 cases of Triple E in Orange, Volusia, and Brevard counties, including a horse in Volusia County back in March. They stress families must help in the fight against mosquitoes. Drain standing water, keep doors and windows screened, mow grass, and maintain your yard. As for Browder and her friends in Brevard County, they're doing what they can by relying on repellents, mostly natural ones.
So we do like to use things like peppermint oil, lavender oil, natural mosquito repellents. We try to avoid the DEET, but if we know we're going somewhere where we are going to get carried away, we will use that.
And with Triple E detected in Central Florida, protection is a must during the hot, humid summer months.
I live in Cocoa Beach, and we have had a few summers where there's just been a real infestation.
And Triple E has no specific treatment, vaccine, or cure, which is why health officials stress prevention is really your only defense.
Health officials are warning of a seasonal spike in a food-borne parasitic illness across 17 states, including right here in Texas. It is called Cyclospora, and it is hitting raw produce this summer. Joining us now is McKenna Earnhardt with what Houstonians need to watch out for at the grocery store. Hi, McKenna.
Yeah, Caroline, if you're anything like me, in the summertime, fresh salads, salsas, and fruits are on your list. But not to be the bearer of bad news, both federal and local health officials are tracking an unwelcome addition to the menu commonly found in those items. Cyclospora, a microscopic parasite that attacks the small intestine. So right now, the CDC is tracking nearly 150 cases across 17 states. But federal investigators tell us there isn't one single massive outbreak to blame. Instead, local health experts say this is a regular summer pattern, usually tied to contaminated foods imported from overseas. Here in Texas, our local cases are sitting in the low double digits. But because the Cyclospora parasite is killed by cooking heat, the real danger is in the raw foods we love. Dr. Linda Yancey with Memorial Hermann tells us the main culprits hitting our grocery carts right now are raw cilantro, bagged lettuce, fresh basil, and especially raspberries. Washing your produce under clean running water helps, but Dr. Yancey warns it isn't magic, and if you do ingest it, the physical warning signs are tough to miss.
So at first, just flu-like symptoms, feeling poorly, malaise, followed by abdominal pain and bloating and watery diarrhea. You're going to want to make sure you're washing your food, and some foods are just easier to wash than others. So things like blueberries, grapes, they're very easy to wash, whereas things like raspberries and blackberries, they have all sorts of nooks and crannies, so they're more difficult to thoroughly wash, which is why Cyclospora is classically associated with raspberries. Definitely do not wash your produce with soap. That's bad for you. And even those vegetable sprays, they're really only good for getting off pesticides.
Good stuff to know there, and Dr. Yancey explicitly warned against internet parasite cleanses, calling them dangerous pseudoscience. She said for the vast majority of people, the symptoms can clear up on their own, but it could take up to 6 weeks. So if you suffer from stomach issues for more than a week, see a doctor. A specific stool test can detect it, and common sulfa drugs can clear it up.
Temperatures and unseasonable rain showers have sent the Southern California mosquito population into overdrive. At least 13 Orange County cities have identified West Nile virus in mosquitoes trapped by health officials. Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost is live in Fullerton with more on how residents can protect themselves. Chip.
Yeah, hello there. Yeah, here in Orange County, vector control workers go out and they set traps for mosquitoes all over the county. Then they test those mosquitoes for West Nile virus. Recently, they have seen a spike of mosquitoes testing positive for West Nile, with the most cases happening right here in Fullerton. Here in Orange County this summer, people have been noticing the mosquitoes. What have you noticed with the mosquitoes in this area recently?
There's been a lot.
It's been getting pretty bad. You can't even go out anymore because you go out and then just mosquitoes like right in your face.
Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District workers have also been noticing them and say many have tested positive for West Nile virus.
This year is off the charts for mosquitoes.
The district says just in the last week, the number of mosquito samples in Orange County testing positive for West Nile virus more than doubled from 18 to 38. Those mosquitoes have been found in 13 different Orange County cities, with Fullerton having the most, with 15 positive samples. That's why notices have been put up, alerting Fullerton residents that this week the district will be spraying a 4.5 square mile area. This is a map of the area that will be sprayed, the center of it being roughly at the corner of Commonwealth and Library Lane.
We only treat when there is an abundance of mosquitoes and the presence of disease. And then that triggers us to go out with our trucks and knock down the adults.
Now that spraying will start tomorrow at 1 a.m. and run between about 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. and they'll also be out during those same times on Friday and Saturday. For now, reporting here in Fullerton, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.
It looks like we may be entering a new Dust Bowl period. There was a historic Dust Bowl back in the 1930s, and that caused major environmental disaster all across the U.S., the Great Plains, and they're saying a new one looks to be springing up. I'm going to say this is because they engineered it this way, a mega drought to start with. Then we have several heat domes that have worked across the United States, with a big one set to hit the Northeast again here within the week. And the alert, the warnings being put out now about the diseases that they're saying that's being spread in this environment. You can see the reduced air quality in the middle there. Now, you tie in all the smoke from the fires with the dust and the particles that are already in the air getting kicked up. This is creating a very bad situation. They are calling these deadly fungal swarms that can end up leading to a lung infection, causing all types of problems, flu-like symptoms, fever, cough, headaches, but it can get severe, and it can start to shut down organs, affect the bones, and even become fatal. This illness skyrocketing in California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas. And we also have a mysterious situation out of the Grand Canyon where many people that have gone into the Grand Canyon in the past few months have reported coming out and then falling ill. Lack of energy, lethargic, flu-like symptoms, aching body, infections. So a lot of weird things going on in terms of that, but this is pretty widespread. Wanted to put the heads up out there. Let it be known.
Well, families say they want answers as to why several children have now been diagnosed with the same rare cancer. There have been half a dozen cases of the cancer now reported in the Ladera Ranch community.
NBC4's Hetty Chang is live right now in Ladera Ranch with a mother. She is speaking out about losing her son. Hetty?
Yeah, Colleen and Jonathan, this Ladera Ranch mother tells us her 17-year-old son, Brody, died from Ewing sarcoma. She says once she started sharing his story and that diagnosis, she learned she is not alone. Megan Madison says you can always find her son Brody outside where he loved to play sports.
He was an outdoor kid. If there was a time to be outside, that was Brody. He was out on his bike. He was out at the park.
Just before his 15th birthday, Madison says Brody began complaining about back pain. Then doctors gave the family a devastating diagnosis.
The Ewing sarcoma was on his spine.
Brody lost his fight in March.
Brody was the kid that would do anything for anybody.
After her son died, Madison says she began hearing from other families in Ladera Ranch, a city of about 20 to 30,000 people, where she says 5 other children have been diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. The American Cancer Society says about 200 to 250 children and teens are diagnosed every year in the nation.
To have 3 families that I just contacted me right away after Brody was diagnosed, was helpful, but also scary at the same time.
Madison and other families in Ladera Ranch don't know what is causing the cancer, but they'd like to know more about the type and amount of pesticides being used in their community. While there is some research suggesting a link between pesticides and Ewing sarcoma, there is so far no direct correlation. Families plan to show up by the dozens at a neighborhood meeting tonight to encourage their HOA to find what they say should be a safer alternative.
We feel like there's a larger number of cancer cases in Ladera than normal, and in looking at the pesticide use, it does seem like that is more than normal in Ladera as well.
Health officials say an initial review of the cancer data did not find a particular pattern of cancer cases, but that they do plan on doing another review of the data in the coming weeks because of the continued concerns.
Our goal as Brody's parents, and I know what Brody would want us to fight for the other kids.
Yeah, that community meeting starts in about an hour. We did reach out via phone and email to the general manager of the HOA here. We did not hear back. We're live from Ladera Ranch. Hetty Chang, NBC4 News.
Well, happening right now, 16 million flies are being dropped all across Texas each week, so which might be one of the reasons you're swatting away more flies.
But it is for a good reason. Patty Santos tells us about the area-wide effort to control the spread of new screwworm.
A lot of people say they are seeing more flies around their house, and in some cases they might be. That is because in counties where the new screwworms have been confirmed, well, scientists are releasing flies in those areas to control this outbreak. And take a look at the USDA map showing the hot zones across Texas. The USDA tells me nearly 400 million flies have been released in Texas since January. And they don't live long, only about 21 days, and they don't travel far. Just far enough to find a host. The USDA also shared video of how they trap flies to monitor where the outbreak is moving and how they release the green-colored larva that becomes those sterile flies. So if you're in a county with positive cases like Medina or Uvalde, you may be noticing more flies right now.
In your house, you're very unlikely to be able to see a New World screwworm fly. The important thing to remember is that these particular flies are relatively solitary. They like to be in wet and hiding in more moist or humid environments. And when they come to feed, they'll come to feed where the animal has an injury.
The biggest thing you can do is watch out for wounded animals and get them help fast. The San Antonio Animal Care Services tells me they are not aware of any confirmed cases in Bexar County, but they are urging people to check their pets and their livestock daily. And if you have any concerns, contact your veterinarian, or you can also call Animal Care Services at 311. I'm Patty Santos.